Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the number of members you mentioned, over 105, I wish to move for the need to immortalize the great scholar and first Emir of Gwandu, Sheik Abdullahi Fodio, by renaming the Federal University, Birnin Kebbi, FUB, after him as Abdullahi Fodio University, Birnin Kebbi, AFUB. The House, aware that the Federal University, Birnin Kebbi, established on 13th February 2013, is located in Birnin Kebbi town with Fodio. Recognizes that Sheik Abdullahi bin Fodio was the first Emir of Gwandu and leader of the western axis of the Sokoto Caliphate that comprised parts of Sokoto State, the entire Kebbi State, Niger State, and Kwara State, and parts of Kogi and Edo States. Also recognizes that Sheik Abdullahi bin Fodio, in addition to being one of the triumvirate leadership of the Sokoto Islamic Reform Movement of the 19th century that metamorphosed into the famous Sokoto Caliphate, was an accomplished scholar, jurist, historian, poet, linguist.
Yeah, leader of the House.
Well, if we need to change the name of that university, it's not going to be by way of a motion, but by way of amendment of that law. I recall very vividly in the 7th Assembly when there was an attempt to change the name of Lagos State University or University of Lagos, or one of those two, MKO University. And one of the issues that we discussed at that time, and the reason why it was not possible, was because we said it could not be by way of motion, but by way of amendment of the law that established the university in the first place. So we cannot, the kernel of my argument is that we cannot amend an act by way of motion. And if you look at the prayer says to urge the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Muhammadu Buhari, to direct the Minister of Education to rename the Federal University, Birnin Kebbi, as Abdullahi Fodio University, and also to mandate the Committee on Tertiary Education and Services to ensure implementation. No, I don't think universities are established by fear.
And we were all members here. I can't remember a day when the bills establishing these universities was tendered before the House, or much less debated here. They were actually established by executive fiat. I don't know.
This motion is like the leader read out. This motion is urging the executive arm of government, the president, to do this. Now it's an urge. And even if it was established by law, and the law is there, nothing stops after pronouncement that the university is now named after the individual we are seeking to name it after, to reflect the law, to capture, because it's a matter of policy to name a university or any institution after somebody. After that, we can reflect it. So I think a motion urging the government. We've had people on this floor, we've brought a resolution on this floor urging the executive to comply with even the constitution or to do certain things. So I don't think we are on the wrong path.
So if there was no law to establish these universities, then we're right. Then you can bring a motion. But I believe that we should bring it in conformity with the way. That means we dropped the ball here. That means we dropped the ball here. We should never have accepted a university, because the universities have governing councils. They have all of those things. Do you do that by proclamation? There are things that go with the establishment of university beyond just naming it.
With regards to the wisdom of the leader in trying to lead the House properly, I would like to inform the leader that I have done my investigation if the law exists, so that I can come through by amendment. And there was no law. There is no law. What happens, that university and about 5 others were established by fiat. And if you have seen a law, fine and good, Mr. Leader. So that is why I have to come by...
So go ahead and move your motion in view of the fact that there's no law establishing those universities. In fact, there are more than 5. And I remember for universities like University of Calabar, it was too long that we passed the law. So we all know the reasons, or we can speculate as to the reasons why those universities were created. But you can now take your motion, and we will urge the executive to send the executive bills on those universities that do not have law established in them.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you for guiding the House very properly. Also recognize that Sheik Abdullahi Fodio, in addition to being one of the triumvirate leadership of Sokoto Islamic reform movement of the 19th century that metamorphosed into the famous Sokoto Caliphate, was an accomplished scholar, jurist, historian, poet, linguist, Quran exegetist, natural scientist, military strategist, army commander, political philosopher, development economist, writer, and educationist. Note that Part 1 of the second schedule, Executive Legislative List of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, provides for immortalization of dignified personalities of high repute and of exemplary characters by the federal government. Also notes that similar institutions of higher learning like Nnamdi Azikiwe University Awka, Obafemi Awolowo University Ile-Ife, Usman Fodio University Sokoto, Ahmadu Bello University Zaria, Ambrose Ali University Ekpoma, Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida University Lafayette, Michael Okpara University of Agriculture Umudike, etc., were named after other eminent Nigerians. Believes that the renaming of the university, being a center of learning after the legendary educationist Malam Abdullahi Fodio, is not only deserving, but will carry support of over 15 million people within and beyond Gwandu Emirate that serves as the catchment area of the university, and will also inculcate into them the memory of historical significance of his time and exemplary works. Resolves 2. 1. Urge the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, to direct the Minister of Education to rename the Federal University Birnin Kebbi, FUB, as Abdullahi Fodio University, Birnin Kebbi, AFU. And 2. To mandate the Committee on Tertiary Education and Services to ensure implementation. Mr. Speaker, I so move.
Honorable colleagues, I am Mohammed Umar Jega, representing Emir of Gwandu Geographical Constituency of Kebbi State. I rise to second the motion heavily moved by my honorable colleagues. I so second.
Thought out idea of changing the name of the university to Osman Fodio University. We don't need to go into history to understand the need for the change of name. But I also believe that to make it even more authentic, to give it government imprimatur, I believe that we should urge also the government to send in a bill, not just for this one university, but the others that were created by government fiat. Because there are many issues that arise. How do we appropriate for something that does not really have the backing of law? How do we create a governing council? Are these degrees going to be recognized by international universities later on in the by the international community later on in future, because they don't have a statute backing them up? I support this entirely, but I also want to give it to even strengthen that establishment by asking that the government immediately bring a bill to establish this university for the purposes of records and the issues I have raised there. Thank you.
Those against it, say nay. Ayes have it.